Show kindness only when you mean it. Only when you mean it. Sometimes you try to be kind to people when you are not even kind. So only show kindness when you mean it. Say sorry only when you are sorry. And don't feel guilty about it. If you're not sorry, you say to the person, I am not sorry. I don't understand why you are asking me to say sorry, because I don't think I have done anything wrong. So why should I be sorry? Only apologize when there is a need to apologize. And this has to be clear. People will get used to the fact that this is you. And it's very good because it won't cause problem. It won't cause problem between your relationship because they know that this is how this person is. Do you try to please people at the expense of your own happiness? Well, I'm actually very guilty of this same crime, and apparently I'll call myself the queen, and a lot of us, unfortunately, or some of us, you find yourself, you put other people's needs and wants before yours as a result of wanting to make them happy, wanting to make them comfortable, and which is okay. I'm not saying that this is not very good. It is good. But sometimes when you're not in a position to please other people, then you displease yourself in the process of trying to satisfy other people's needs and want. And then you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And that is not good for your well-being. So today I'll be sharing some of my thoughts and some of the things that I've tried to think about and I've tried to change about myself, And I'm going to be starting with how to recognize if you are a people pleaser. You try to please people, and then in the case where you are not able to do that, you feel guilty. So I'm going to be talking to you on how to identify them and tell you what the impact of displeasing yourself or trying to make other people happy, trying to please other people at the expense of your own happiness, what it can lead to, what the impacts are, and also how I have tried to resolve and stop this kind of attitude. Now, if this is the first time you're joining Bola Adeyomi Shade Show, thank you so much for joining. This is a community where we support people to be the best version of themselves. So thank you so much. Do not forget to click on the like button if you like this episode and you like what I'm sharing with you. And also do not forget to click on the bell, the notification button, so that you do not miss our future episode. You sort of get a reminder that we're going to be airing the episode. And of course, we air a new episode every Saturday. And right, to my returning viewers, thank you so much. I am really excited and always happy to have you here. Thank you for your consistent support. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Right, so to the topic for today, trying to please other people, it becomes part of us. It becomes you try to do things at the expense of your own time. And unfortunately, it's not very good for our well-being. And sometimes you can't, I'm a Christian, and sometimes you can't be committing a sin. Who am I to judge you? But, you don't want to do something and be resentful. That is where the sin comes in, And then I'm going to share with you, if you're not sure or you're not sure if you are a people pleaser or you're somebody who is extremely kind. Yes, so because sometimes it does not really mean that you're pleasing people at your own expense. Some people are just extremely kind. So there are two different things. If you're extremely kind, is different from somebody who is a people pleaser. And one of the signs that you would know or you should look out for if you think you're a people pleaser is always wanting to say sorry when you are not even sorry. You know, you find it very easy to apologize, you know, when you're not even at fault, you know, because you're trying to do that thing to make the other person happy when it actually has nothing to do with you. I remember when I first got to the UK, I was very used to saying sorry, sorry, sorry. And some people, mostly at work, have done something, maybe it had nothing to do with me. And I go there and I say sorry. And then they ask me, why are you sorry? You don't have to be sorry. You know, I'm very quick to apologize. You know, so you should only apologize when it has to do with you, because in most cases, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make the person happy, or you're trying to make sure the person is seeing you in a good way, or maybe trying to have a good perception of you, you know. So if you find yourself that you're always very quick to apologize, or maybe sometimes two friends might be having a disagreement, and you're quick to go in there and say, oh, you sorry and you sorry. Why are you apologizing? It has nothing to do with you, but you're trying to be on the good page of the two groups who are having a disagreement. You know, so you're a people pleaser. You're trying to please them because you're trying to be on their good page. So you need to stop that, because you get lost. You get lost in apologizing when it is not needed, saying sorry when it is not needed. You know, and from the background where I come from, you find out that a lot of adults will say when kids have done something, even when the kids are not wrong, they say sorry. No, you should bring up your children in a way where they say sorry only when they are sorry, or when they should be sorry for what they have done. If they have not done anything wrong, you as an adult, you need to think properly to say, have they done something for them to be apologetic about? You know, if that's not the case, do not force them to say sorry, because unfortunately, they would find themselves in a situation where they are not supposed to be sorry, and they would not be bold enough to stand up for themselves. So this is a very key point for parents. You know, train up your children. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert, and I'm not telling you how you should bring up your children, but everyone should, including children and adults, should only say sorry when they are sorry. Now, you are always also quick to agree that something is your fault when it is not your fault, or when you are not happy with it. You know, for example, maybe in the case of a relationship, your partner has done something wrong to you, and you are not happy about it, but you're not able to air your opinion to say, I am not happy about this, you know, because you don't want him to be unhappy, or you don't want her to be unhappy. And then you're accepting that fault, you're accepting it. If you do that, then you're a people pleaser, unfortunately. And then that is actually harming your relationship, because your partner in this case is not able to see your true person, is not able to identify your true personality. Because when it's time for you to say, well, I don't agree with this kind of attitude, you don't say it, all in the name of you don't want your partner to be unhappy, and then you take all this shit, sorry if I use the word, you take all those things that you don't feel comfortable with. So if you find yourself in a situation where you accept the blame when it is not your blame, then you are a people pleaser. Another very, very, very key one is you're not able to say no. If you look at my previous episodes, I've actually talked about learning to say no. You know, you always, anything anybody brings to your table, oh, do this for me, Bola, can you do this for me? It is always a yes, 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 without thinking about your own self, without thinking about, is it comfortable for me? Do I have the time? Do I have the resources? You need to think about yourself. It's not about being very selfish, because to be honest, people will, you keep saying yes and yes and yes and yes, and the people you say yes to will take advantage of it, because they know that if I go to Bola, she would always say yes, and then they begin to take advantage of it. And sorry, I have to relate to children as well. When your children, they're supposed to have a responsibility, they're supposed to take on certain responsibility, and they know that, oh, they can, they can play with their mom or their dad's emotion, and they know she would always say yes. They take advantage of you. They take advantage of you. And unfortunately, this would not, it might be good for them at the present time. It might be good for them now, but in future, the morals that you're supposed to have given to them, you would have missed it, because they are used to shying away from responsibilities. And they know that if they say, oh, mommy, and all you're trying to do is so that I want my children to love me. I don't want them to have a negative perception about me. But that's not right. It is not right. If you keep saying yes, 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 yes to them, and they don't know the difference between a yes and a no, or they know that they can take advantage of their mom because she's going to say yes, I'm going to say, I don't love you anymore. Well, then in future, you are going to regret that those morals that you were supposed to instill in them, or the morals that you were supposed to give to them, you didn't, all in the name of wanting them to be affectionate or wanting them to love and to like you. That is absolutely wrong. How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, I want you to share your own opinion, because this is a very, very key point. I have seen people, loved ones, that have find it very difficult to say no to their children. They find it very difficult. For every time their kids come to them and say, mommy, I want this, daddy, I want this, they're very quick to say yes to them, without making them understand that there's a time and a place to make requests. And there's a time to say, no, I cannot afford this. But you make yourself very uncomfortable, and you make yourself very uncomfortable. Sometimes you cannot even afford these things. Now you get yourself into debt based on this request, and then you become resentful. And that takes me to another thing. You sort of actually harm your relationship by trying to be a people or a person pleaser, because sometimes you put yourself in a position that you are not happy. You don't even have time for yourself, and then you become resentful and you're angry for no reason. Unfortunately, the person you've been resentful to does not understand. That person is not aware that whatever you are doing to them is not, you're not doing it at your own convenience, because they feel is the norm. It's okay. So only do things that you're comfortable with. Only do things that you're very happy with. And sadly, a lot of people find themselves in this kind of situation. Another thing is, if you're not sure if you're a person pleaser, some of them are very good givers. They always want to give just to make this person or that person like you. Oh, I'll keep giving, I keep dishing out. But why should you do that? You can't. So sometimes they even give things that they have not bought for themselves, or things they have not even done to themselves. They give it out, and then they give it, and then they start feeling very bad. And maybe in the case, maybe for example, you buy a perfume for somebody and on their birthday, or buy a gift for somebody on their birthday, and the person does not maybe give back to you, start feeling bad. But excuse me, they haven't requested for that. And you're doing that because you want them to like you. You want to be on their good page. Excuse me, why do you want to be on somebody's good page? Why? Why? I am, and I'm not saying this because I am perfect. I have been there. I have actually been there and been on a page where I always want people to like me. I always want to be on people's good page. But I paid the price. I paid badly for it. So it gets to a point where even the people around you, people that have relationship with you, will find out that why is it that you can never say no? Somebody is making a request. Maybe, for example, you want to move houses, and somebody is calling you, oh Bola, please, can you come and drive me to move my things? And it's not convenient for you. You have your job to be there, you want to rest, but you're not able to say no. The people around you will be like, can't you just say no? And then you begin to have arguments about it, that, oh, trust me, I am number one person who is guilty of this case. And so we are all here together. We are all here to learn. We're all guilty of this same thing, but it needs to stop. We need to know how to say no. Because unfortunately, if you're giving people things because you want them to give back to you, sorry, you're not going to get it. You're doing things for people because you want them to like you. I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. You are doing the absolutely wrong thing. I don't know what other adjective to qualify it. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your efforts. And to be honest, it is not fair on that person's part because they don't see it that way. Some of them might understand and might see you that way, and maybe they've decided to take advantage of you, but then you need to be very sensitive. Stop trying to please you and please people at the expense of your own happiness. If you are a people pleaser, you have a very low opinion of yourself. So you draw your self-worth from other people's approval. And that is not right. It is not right. You don't even understand who your true self is because you spend most time trying to do what other people want you to do as opposed to what you want to do. Even at home, at work, sometimes at work, people would present something on the table, and you know that you do not agree with this thing, and then you just keep mute. Now you're not doing the business, or you're not doing those people good by not sharing your opinion of what you think is not good about that idea, or what is not right about whatever they have presented to you. Because firstly, if you accept they are presenting to you what you don't accept, you're not going to function very well. You're not going to be the best version of yourself. You're not going to be productive enough because what they are presenting to the table is, you're not satisfied with it. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say that I am not happy with this decision. It is okay to say, can you amend this to fit my own needs? Freedom of speech. You are free to share your thoughts. So in some cases, it is against your human rights. So always feel free to say, I don't agree with this, back it up, ensure that you are always able to justify it, and justify it and say, well, this is against the resources I have around me. If they are giving you a shift that does not fit in with your family life, maybe you need to pick up your children from school, calmly say that, well, this does not fit with the time I pick my child from school. Can you somehow resolve this for me? Because that's the only way you can be the best version of yourself and contribute to your quota appropriately. And also, if you're a people pleaser, you never have time. Because most of the time you spend time doing what other people want. You spend time solving other people's problem, and you never have time for your own self. Now you realize that you don't even understand. You begin to ask yourself, when do I have time for myself? Because you don't have time for yourself. You don't. I am the boss. Trust me. I do this a lot. So if you are watching and you're on this same page, please, can you share? Because we all need to learn how to stop trying to please people at the expense of our own happiness. We need to. Now, do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to make people happy. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to be kind. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to come through when people need your help, but not at your own expense. Because when you do it and you make yourself uncomfortable, you become angry, you become resentful, and that is where it is a sin. Yeah, the Bible says that be a cheerful giver, but it didn't say that be a cheerful giver at your own expense. If it is not comfortable for you, it is not comfortable for you. I'm a Christian, and that's why I have talked about the Bible. So it has not said, because it's a sin. If you are not happy, it says give cheerfully, and when I mean giving, it's not just giving financially, giving your time, giving your resources. If you're not able to give people time, say, I'm sorry, I cannot give you time. I cannot give you time. So I'm going to be talking about what are the impacts of you being a people pleaser. How would it make you feel? You become resentful, as I've mentioned. You become frustrated if you keep pleasing people at your own expense. And you don't want that. It's not even good for your well-being. It's not good for your well-being. You get angry at things, and when you have done something for somebody and they are not doing the same, the person comes and you're like, but that's not very good. That is not very good. And also, when you're a people pleaser, the people who you're pleasing, they would know, and they would take advantage of that. They would take advantage of you. So you should, and that's not very good. It's not very good when people take advantage of your being very kind. You need to be very, very sensitive, Only do things that you're very comfortable, and say yes when you mean it. And yes, that's another thing I'm going to talk about when I'm talking about how to stop trying to please people and not feel guilty about it. Because you're giving so much of your time, you become stressed out, you don't even have time to look after your own well-being, because you've given majority of your own time trying to satisfy other people's needs. And also your loved ones, the people around you, become frustrated because you are unhappy. And then it begins to extend, it begins to affect people. You don't even have relationships because you've given out the things you don't have, the things you cannot afford. And then you are angry, and then you start reacting to the people around you. It affects them. It affects your relationship, because sometimes, in most cases, your loved one will see that, why is this person giving their self-worth to the approval of another person? Why is this person always saying yes, 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 yes? And then they begin to draw back as well. They begin to draw back. It affects your relationship because they don't even know who you are anymore. And they feel you're living a fake life. You're living a life that you cannot afford. You cannot afford to give that time, but you are giving it. You cannot afford to give the money. You cannot afford to give the effort, but you're giving it. It would affect, and in case of your children, you would miss out on building them the way they should grow, on giving those values that you should give them, on they identify when it's a yes and when it's a no, or when to say sorry and when not to say sorry, when to agree to things that are presented to them and when to air their opinion to say that, no, I don't agree to it. It reduces their self-esteem. So do not wait until the time where you would regret it, all because you want them to love you. They love you anyway. They would love you. And in your relationship, whoever it is, the man or the woman, they will love you anyway, because they need to know who they want to spend the rest of their life with. So you need to be true to yourself and show them that this is who I am. And don't try to say yes, 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 even when you do not agree to what they are presenting to you. Or maybe they've made you unhappy and you're not able to say, oh boy, come here. What you have done is, I'm not happy with it. We need to resolve. We need to talk about this. It's not something I agree with. So it is better you trash it, and he knows that, oh no, or she knows that this person is not on this table. Now, how do you stop trying to please people and not feel guilty? In some cases, some people would come to you and then they would talk about all this problem. They would, they will share all the problem in the whole world, or maybe they would talk about how they need help, and sometimes they only want you to listen. But you see, the people pleaser, they are very quick to say, come, let me help you. Bring your own problem. For my loved ones that are around, they know they can relate, Bring your problem. If you have problem, come, let me solve your problem. So if you're in this position, sometimes just listen. Listen and show concern, and only offer to help when they have explicitly asked for help. Wait for them to ask for help. I know that it's good to be kind, love your neighbor as yourself, but not at the expense of your own happiness, not at the expense of your own being on a good page with your creator. So only wait when they have explicitly asked for help. Do not be too forward to share, and also you also need to learn how to set boundaries. Set the boundaries. And this is something that you have to do it consciously. You have to say, well, this is when to say no, and this is when to say yes. You need to be very conscious about it. So set those boundaries very, very, very clear. Show kindness only when you mean it. Only when you mean it. Sometimes you try to be kind to people when you are not even kind. So only show kindness when you mean it. Say sorry only when you are sorry, and don't feel guilty about it. If you're not sorry, you say to the person, I am not sorry. I don't understand why you are asking me to say sorry, because I don't think I have done anything wrong. So why should I be sorry? Only apologize when there is a need to apologize. And this has to be clear. People will get used to the fact that this is you. And it's very good, because it won't cause problem. It won't cause problem between your relationship, because they know that this is how this person is. How many of you agree with me? Please leave in the comment section if you agree with me. And I am talking because I have been there. This is a page where I have been on. And also, this will be my final tips on how to not feel guilty. Be very selfish with yourself. Put yourself first. Put yourself first with your time. Ensure that you have given yourself time, you've given your family time, you've done your commitments in regards to work before, and then look at it, then check. Do I have extra time to dish out? And if in cases where somebody has come to you and maybe they put you, because some people are very good at putting you on the spot. They want to put you on the spot and they want to tell them, can you give me some time to think about it? Tell them, can you give me some time to think about it? You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to just say, I need to look at my calendar. I need to look at what plans I have. Take your time. Reflect and see if you are able to lend a hand, if you're able to offer support. Do not be very quick to say yes. Think about yourself. Be very, very selfish with your resources, with your time. Bearing in mind that I'm not against you being a cheerful giver. Be a cheerful giver. Be kind to people, but not at the expense of your own happiness, of your own comfort, or you being resentful, doing things that you're not comfortable with. If you agree with me, can you share your thoughts on how you have been able to overcome trying to please people? Because I know that at some point, some of us would have been in the position where we're trying to please people, and how you've been able to overcome and stop doing this. if you have found this very, very useful, this is a very topic that I'm so excited about. So please leave your comments and share with me how you have dealt with it. If you have found this very useful and you know somebody who is a people pleaser, who does things at the expense of their own happiness, and then they, for example, they get into lots of debts because they're trying to please people, or they're trying to get affection. They've based their self-worth or on the approval of others. Share this with them. Share this with your family, with your friends, and give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this. Thank you. Thanks for staying till the end. And yes, I am really excited, and I hope you have enjoyed me sharing my thoughts with you today. This is Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and I'll see you next week. Bye.